Today's guest is a very good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine for many years. We actually went to school together. Now, some of you seeing him, you're going to recognize him from the Marvel Universe as the character Detective Brett Mahoney from shows like The Punisher and Daredevil. I've known him as Royce Johnson since we went to Purchase College together. And ever since I've known him, he is still the same kind, humble, and beautiful spirit. I'm so excited for him because he is going to be on a show that I've become a huge fan of every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. I turn on my TV and my show is the new show, which is executive produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, known as For Life. And tonight, he is going to be on that show. Without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Finally, bro. You know?
Dude, it's an honor. You was on the show before, but the podcast wasn't as like fancy. I think I had attached a lavalier to your shirt and I was recording it into my phone. I mean, that's how far back this thing was.
Yeah, it was all Velcro. I felt like I was like snatching my jacket.
Yeah. It was definitely something that strippers use when they show up to parties and say, did somebody order a firefighter? And just take it off.
It's like all over it. Vic, like just stay right there.
Man.
Stay put.
And dude, and you know, a lot of folks don't know this, right? I mean, you're watching this, you're probably huge fans of Royce and you've seen him on TV do his thing, but probably folks don't know that we went to school together.
Yeah. We went to school together,
went
man.
To SUNY Purchase. SUNY Purchase in the house. And I remember the first time I saw you in school, it was because it was the first day of school for me. And I was on my way to, we're
telling that story.
We were jumping into it. We're jumping into it right away. So, you know, I was on my way to this cafe, this spot that we used to get food at, and it was like 8 something in the morning. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my way. I had my eye on like an egg sandwich and an orange soda. And I happened to see one of my classmates who was Amanda Seals. And she's like, where the fuck you going? I was like, I'm gonna go get some food, you know, because we had already met. I knew she was my classmate. And she said, no, we got warm up. I was like, warm up? And so now, you know, stomach growling. Yeah. I show up to class and there we are, 8:15 in the morning doing yoga. And I think one of the first people that I met, and the thing was, he was so nice. He was, I think you were like right next to me for the warm up, and you would help me. You're like, hey man, it's cool. You know, all you gotta do is do, you know, A, B, and C, and this and that. But I always remembered you just being a super nice guy.
I appreciate it, man.
Super duper nice guy. Same guy. You know, loved, you know, one that loved Michael Jackson.
Oh, you know it, man.
Anything Motown probably. Temptations. I remember we went to see the Cosby Show that time.
You remember the Cosby Show? Studio audience.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was in the seat.
Yes. We were sitting next to each other watching the live taping of it.
Yeah. And I was doing the Temptations, and I think
it was great.
Felicia Rashad and all those guys saw me doing it.
Oh yeah. And Mr. Cosby was impressed by your moves.
Right, I was impressed by my moves. So they had me come down and do those same moves and start the song over again. So I could do that. I was nervous as hell. I was
so exciting, but you killed it though. And then there was like a microphone because they had these microphones that obviously face the audience to record their laughter, and so you just start doing your little dance moves, and that was great, man.
The whole Motown, you know.
Yes. So Royce, we met each other in Purchase.
Yeah, man. We go back, man. We go back to, you know, barring a free meal.
Oh my God. I mean? You gonna tell that story?
Yeah, y'all gonna tell that story. I mean, that's one of our stories, you know, because you know, in college, we had these plans, these meal plans. You had a 10 meal plan or a 15 meal plan. And, you know, we had to eat 3 meals a day. And if you didn't use one of those meals,
it would go to waste.
So, you know, as actors, we would like hang around, you know, the cafeteria, you know, waiting on someone who hasn't used all 3 of their meals.
Yeah.
And we would just be hanging out like pimps at a bus stop. You know? Like, hey, Hey, you got an extra meal on you, man? Scratching, like itching. I want a grilled chicken, man. Let me use that, So you look at that person like you owe me a meal, bro.
Yeah. You would use it as leverage. Hey, man, I gave you a meal on Thursday. Hook me up. One time, because we got a mutual friend, right? Malcolm Goodwin,
yes,
who also went to Purchase. Big shout out to Malcolm. And Malcolm, I remember one time I gave him my card because I was going home for the holidays. And, it was like probably like one of those like winter recess, like during our freshman year. And I had like the ultimate meal plan. I had like 18 meals a week.
That's what you wanted.
Yeah, that's what you wanted. You want to make sure that you were fed right,
late night snack,
Get that big ass cookie from North. And
with those little 6-piece of wings,
Yeah.
That's like $9,
Oh my God. Yeah. It was like, well, why does it cost this much? But I got the meal plan, swiped my card. And Mac took my card. And I think one day he just spent like, I don't know how. He spent like the whole day of meals on candy because they were going to the movies.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, that was back when. Now he's doing green juices and well, he probably be like, nah, Vic, I'm still doing them candies. Yeah.
The days, man. We've grown, bro.
We should call him. We should call him and see what he's doing. Let me call him. Let me see.
You want to call him? You can call Malcolm right now. You got that juice.
I call Malcolm right now.
You can get Malcolm on the phone.
Let me see if I can get Malcolm on the phone right now.
That's like crazy,
let me see,
man.
And we could just check in real quick. Unexpected. We didn't even tell him we was going to call.
No.
Just cause,
This is great, man.
I hope he picks up. It's unexpected,
Yeah, it's one of those calls.
Hope he's not sleeping. Well, what time is it?
Call has been forwarded to an automatic
voice.
He's in LA. So we'll check on him later. But, so Mac bought like a whole day's worth of candy. And we were out there hustling those meals. And you had to survive. You had to survive at Purchase.
Dude, our schedule was like not the normal schedule, though. You know what I mean? We started like at 8 a.m. And rehearsed. So we didn't like go back to our dorms till like 11 p.m. sometimes.
That's true.
Because we had scenes to work on the next morning and stuff. So,
and even that, rehearsals ended at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So then sometimes you were at the studio till 1 o'clock in the morning working on a scene.
That was doing class.
Or sometimes it was several things due. There was a monologue doing this class. There was a scene doing this class. And that was crazy, man.
Yeah, that was our life, man. It was like you're in college, but it was like some rigorous, it was a program, it was a conservatory.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to like hang out and enjoy some sun sometimes, like on a nice Wednesday.
There was some,
we was like
days.
in passing to go get our food on a real nice day in college.
Yeah. So. Especially when the weather was changing from winter to spring.
Yeah.
Right. Or we were going into summer. It was between spring and summer. Some beautiful, because we're out there in the, we're out there in the trees and stuff, and the, it was just beautiful. I remember when I first got there, I saw like a whole family of deer just run by.
Yeah. And you had like skunks like coming to get your trash like outside of your...
Or the raccoons. And they were fat out there. They were fat.
It's like, you eating that today or what? What's going on? But that's where we were. We were like in that environment.
The raccoons were hustling meals too. I think I'd seen them outside the lunchroom.
Hey, what's up with that meal plan?
If you don't give me that meal plan, I'm going to bite you.
Bite you. I'm going to skunk you up. You know what I mean?
Those skunks, man. Now when I smell skunk in my neighborhood, it's not an actual skunk. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, it's a whole
other thing. Tonight is very exciting. Is very exciting. And for those of you that are watching this interview, after today, just know that, you can log on to Hulu or ABC. There's other platforms that will show you, obviously, episodes of For Life on demand. But this episode is so special because this is the episode that Royce is on. How important is a show like For Life on TV?
Very important. It's a class when you watch For Life. It's the story of Isaac Wright that was wrongfully accused, did 9 years. And, he studied during that time, became a lawyer, and exonerated himself, which was amazing that he did that. And then he started to work with the other prisoners in the system that he knew was innocent to get them out.
Right.
So that's the story of him. And, and just to see his journey as an inmate and not giving up on knowing that he was wrongfully convicted.
Right.
And that's, from the whole idea of the George Floyds, the Breonna Taylor's, stuff like that. So that's why, one of these episodes is just important for the cause.
Talk to me about your process of getting this role and how you did it.
Well, it's like with any role that we get as an actor, you get booked for the role, you find out that you got it, and then the nerves kick in. Like, I play like roles like Martin Luther King, for instance. People know what Martin's supposed to sound like.
Right.
His build, his body, so there's a cadence to his voice. So getting a role like this, with Isaac Wright's story and, telling Andy's story and, listening to his daughter, you go home and you digest that and see how you can come up with like a happy medium. This guy could be 6'2". I'm 5'9",
Right.
So, the voice could carry. So you have to like embody that character, the way they speak, their rhythm, and then present it. It's like almost like writing a poem or something and giving that poem away to like you guys to like watch it and experience it, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
You do the process, you do the homework, you watch the tape, you listen to the families, and then you give your interpretation of what the character would be like.
Now, For Life is executive produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. I know that when you met with Nick, who plays the Isaac Wright character on the show.
Well, first when I got the call, it was interesting because, I had been chosen. I felt like this was bigger than all of us to tell this story. It could be the story of Malcolm X or the story of the Black Panthers or whoever. So, we all sat down and talked about the significance and how important, that this is not a show about, Isaac Wright or whatever. This is a show about a movement.
Right.
And I had to digest that because it's always interesting when a guest star comes onto a show when you feel like they're already a family. So I felt it was like an invitation. I felt very warm. They made me feel very comfortable to be coming, on their set that they've been working on for the last 2 years. So you come onto a set not feeling so much like a stranger, so that's why I appreciated the call and the meeting so we can talk and just talk about, life issues or, our past, our journey, how we got to be where we are today. We discussed issues like that.
Yeah.
Just to warm up because sometimes you don't have that much time to know an actor that you can be doing an intimate scene with.
Right.
And it only helps the actual scene more when you've met.
And you've met them.
It's just different than stage versus television or movies. They've been there for 2 years.
Right.
It's the same with the Marvel Universe. Having people come on for that day or a week or whatever. You've been shooting this show for 3 years. So you've already embodied the character. You're comfortable. You know the language of that character.
Yeah. And
so with me, I felt invited. That's what I felt. I felt like the invitation I was honored to have that invitation and get a jump on the rhythm of that show because each show has its own, energy, its own like jazz, R&B, pop, So I had to find the rhythm of that show in particular.
Man, who inspires you? Who are some folks that you look up to?
Well, my mother, she's the reason that, she just passed away recently. It's been 1 year. So she inspired that I get a little tight right now,
But it's okay.
She inspired me to want to go for my dream, When I was leaving the military, which was a solid career, and I said I wanted to become an actor, people looking at me like, I wanted to be a circus, actor, white wire actor, or whatever.
Right.
But so she inspired me to want to follow my dream. Now, just watching actors like Denzel Washington and Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and Morgan Freeman, watching those guys work their craft, where I see them in several movies, but they're doing different things. That excited me. That made me want to try it out. So that's why I had no acting experience. And there's a lot that goes into it. Once I went to college, I realized that it just wasn't about putting on clothes and, there's a lot of layers, I should say.
Yeah.
With developing a character.
Sure.
The costume, the makeup, the wardrobe, the speech, what part of town this is in.
Sure.
You know, what period are we in? You know, because right now, you know, as an actor, we deal with a lot of things on a daily that a lot of people don't have to address. We have to tap into emotions that most people want to forget about.
Right.
You know, just like we're saying, you know, death or gender. We just have to tap into so many things that most people don't have to tap into on a day-to-day basis. I don't think, even with me, when people ask me, like, man, that was great, man. I love what you did in The Punisher. You know, that was perfect. I was like, really? I mean, as actors, I don't know if I've ever given a perfect performance before. There's always something else I look at and felt like I could have put another layer on top of that. You know, Vic put me on tape for life. I got to mention that. I got to give you that.
Oh, man. Yeah.
No, you deserve that. Vic put me on tape for life. And the thing about working with someone who you already know and have a relationship with, we can tell each other something and be critiqued on it. Like, slow this down, or I didn't see that move happen, because we did it in college. So now that we're out of college, you know, working together on, you know, tape auditions and stuff, I trust you, you know, and this job is a job of trust, you know, like this is something I had to learn over the years. You know, you don't have to do it all. Yeah. There's a director there helping you out. There's a writer there. You're there. You've done your homework. Sure. And, you know, and then you come together and you got this masterpiece of a show or a play or whatever you're working on.
Yeah, no, trust is a big one. You know, for me, that, you know, wanting to like try to figure it all out, try to do all of it, try to wear all the hats. And you know what it really comes down to is that's just a part of being afraid that, you know, it's like your own insecurities when you try to do every single thing and not leave the door open for someone who cares about you or loves you.
Yeah, everybody
to try to elevate you to a much better place, you know. What do you consider to be great preparation for an audition?
I would say read the entire script if you have the time. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Try not to focus on your character so much. Secondly, when you do focus on your character, observe your character. Don't put yourself in that.
Right.
You know, just be the outside looking in on that guy.
Okay.
From there, I start to reflect on maybe if I had met someone like that, or I've had an experience that we call it sense memory. You know, how do I place myself in that position? You know, like if I was to play, I don't know, a serial killer. Let's just say a serial killer. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to go out there and just be murdering people.
Right.
So I put myself into a position where I indulged a lot in something and it was just bad. It could have been ice cream, like too much ice cream. It's just too bad for you.
You like ice cream?
Right. I love ice cream.
What's your favorite flavor?
It's the caramel cone. Haagen-Dazs. Yeah.
Okay.
Promotion.
I need sponsors.
Sponsors. Yeah. So, you know, when you overindulge. So I would take that approach first and say, okay, I'm indulging too much into that. And that's where the journey starts. Then you start to learn your lines. After I do that, I learn them again. And it's always good to get an outside opinion if you work like that. Everybody has their own, you know, study approach and rhythm.
Right.
So coaching is good too. If you got a good coach or someone you know, a reader, maybe they can add some insight.
Sure.
Or you can, sometimes I used to watch my old favorite movies where it was relatable to that issue.
Got it.
You know? And don't compare yourself to anybody. You know, you're your own worst critic.
Got you.
You know, just be prepared. Learn your lines as best you could. That's not important, but the important thing is to have a character down. Okay. And also know that the people in there are looking for the right person. Okay. So don't take it so personal.
Okay.
Because I used to leave out of auditions like I was great, you know, like they need to hire me.
Yeah.
Maybe I was too short, too tall, too old, too dark, too light, whatever, you know? And then leave there knowing that you've done your deed. You've done your homework.
Yeah.
And then you can leave knowing that you've made progress, and then you move on to the next audition. You know, I've had takes like that where I've done a take and then I see the finished product and I'm like, whoa, you didn't use that? Like I because I don't know if most people know about, filming, but there's a wide shot, medium, and then there's a close up.
Yeah.
And most of the time you want to save the, the good juicy stuff
for the close up.
Right. Yeah. And you're like, you didn't get that? And you're like, and you see a wide part of it, like, dude, there was magic right there. And you didn't even capture that,
But what you don't know sometimes is that close up that they love, that you love, that they thought worked, then they go and they find out that something was wrong with the shot.
Could have been
something technical, or sometimes, they just, who knows? It could be timing. There's just so many different reasons why, which is why no one should ever take personal
an audition.
An audition. You don't get an audition or why they didn't use this particular part or why they cut these lines out and suddenly you have less lines than you did before. Well, sometimes it doesn't work with the story. Maybe it's just too much exposition. It's like
I've had a character like just cut out the entire episode. It was like Life on Mars. I was like a paramedic, but it didn't serve the purpose of the story. It didn't drive the story or move it forward. And I got a nice letter saying thank you. I still got paid, which is, you always get, give me my money.
Because we didn't use you, we also can't pay you.
So, I got, that was great. But, I was looking forward to it. And I understood what they were saying. It didn't serve its purpose. And I watched the episode, and it didn't. It didn't need to be put in there,
Right.
Right. So don't take it so personal. That's my number one rule.
But I know tonight, I will be taking all things personal when I watch you on For Life. All right, For Life. Congratulations again on this.
Thank you, brother. I can't wait to, introduce the world to Andy.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man.
Just the storyline itself moved me. I had the pleasure of, meeting Andy's daughter and stuff, and that was always, pretty cool to meet the actual people.
So
involved.
Andy is a real person.
Yeah, well, that's not his name per se. I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
But
you were
a real person.
A real person.
I'm a real person.
You're real in real life.
Yeah,
they based off a real person.
Yeah, a real life person.
Ah, got you.
Yeah.
Folks, tonight on ABC at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, you got to check out Royce Johnson on the new episode of For Life. Thank you, my brother, so much for being here today.
You, man,
I appreciate you too, man.
You got it, man. You got it.
I love you.
Love you back, man.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in on another episode of the Victor Cruz Acting Studio podcast. Be sure to subscribe, watch this episode, share it with your friends and family, watch it again, and we will see you next time.